Morning, everyone, or not morning, afternoon, everyone. Hope you guys are doing all right. Welcome to the stream. We'll just be hanging out waiting for some more people to hop on. While we wait, I would put up, excuse me, I would put up a couple slides for you guys to poke around with. See if you guys could get take a look at some of these defensive mechanisms and just kind of do a little practice with that. Just kind of as we're sitting here waiting for people to hop on. What up, Calvin? Hola, ¿cómo está? Maybe let's hide the notes so you can't see them. Hello, Teddy. Aryan, you are in fact not first. You're low. All right. So yeah, more of the same here today. Teddy's saying wanted to say, oh no, Teddy just left. He wanted to say hi and then just disappeared. So we'll go back to the questions. All right. No, Aryan, you were not first on the chat. Calvin was first on the chat. You just would like to think you were first. Yo, 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 Peyton. No, Corbin, social psychology is not on the quiz. Definitely not. So that was ages and ages ago. The social psychology won't even be on the test. It'll just be all the personality stuff. So actually, wait, JK, no, it will be on the test. Sorry, I will have it on the test. My bad. So. All right. So what do you guys want to do? Do you want me to lecture over this stuff, or you guys want to ask questions, or? Yeah, I'd agree, Corbin. You indeed. Can we go through all this? All these newts? Yeah. Okay. Well, we got 16. It's good enough. Good enough. Can I go over number 6? Calvin, are you talking number 6 on my little examples set over here, or number 6? That's fine, Corbin. I can talk about that. Let me go. I'm going back over to Calvin. Calvin, are you talking about this? This question on here, or number 6 on your worksheet? This doesn't even go to number 6. So you're talking about the worksheet. Sure. Yeah. 1 second. I have to. I do not remember what all of the questions were. So let me quick find it. Social psychology, personality. So number 50 is kind of weird. It could be a couple things. So basically, it's just asking about this old dude who goes back and is looking at. Yeah, let me post. I'll post the question. I'll post the question to the stream chat. Yeah, so it's basically a 50-year-old Bill wears clothes that you see on teenagers, and he drives a sports car. So, there's a couple of things you could say about this. One, you could say it's denial. He's denying that he's getting old. Or you could say it's regression. He's going back to times where like life was better for him, or something like that. So it's kind of like, I don't know. I probably should get rid of the question. It's kind of it's not that great of a question. So so yeah. So I would say it's one of those. You could kind of pick either or. Okay, sorry. What are And are the psyches just it? Yes, Corbin, they are. I thought that one was regression. Yeah, Corbin, that would work. So social personality is on the quiz. No. Social personality. No, just personality. No social psychology. Come on, Dasal. You've been in this class. We only do what we talked about this week on the quiz. Okay. Will the defense mechanisms be more clear on the quiz or just ambiguous? Dasal, they're all just going to be ambiguous. Can they? They'll be. I mean, I'm not going to say that they're going to be easy, but you know, you're gonna have to make decisions. Okay. Do you guys? If you guys want to, we can just go over the homework section. I don't care. Do you guys want to do that? I'll wait for you guys to answer me on that. We just go through all of them. Yes, but Corbin, why? Why project? I actually don't even know if you're right. I have to look at those, or I have to look at what the question is. I don't remember the question specifically. We can definitely go over the readings. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, what do you guys want to do first? Do you just want me to prattle? So we've got like three major things that we can focus on. One, we have the lecture notes, and then from there, I was not supposed to. We can do the lecture notes. We can go over the worksheet, and we can go over the oh my gosh, the readings. So we can do all three. Okay. I would say number 11 is okay. Let's start with the worksheet. So I'm going to give everyone like 30 seconds. Go ahead and yeah, Sarah and Aryan, all you. I will cover the readings in a minute. Readings come second. Let's just go through the worksheet. So let me pull it up on here. If you somehow lost it or forgot it, I will pull it up. It's on Scholology, so you can look at it on there. So let me. Oof. Okay. Don't need to look at me anymore. Okay. Okie dokie. So let's see if this is going to work. You guys see this, correct? Okay, good. You guys see this. Okay. Someone tell Hasnain what it's over, so I don't have to write it all down. Okay, so let's just go through these guys. Thank you, Corbin. Okay, soldiers exposed to traumatic experiences in concentration camps during wartime sometimes have amnesia and were unable to recall any part of their ordeal. Obviously, this is repression. You know, they've got something really crappy. They can't remember it. OBS repression. Okay, students may deny reality of a failure or a mistake. Oh, is this? I gotta make sure that you guys can still see this. Okay. Yes, Aryan. Yeah. Welcome to being on the stream. I want you guys to have. I mean, most of you guys already have all of this down. I just want to like make sure that well, you know what? I don't need to waste my time going over all these. Which ones do you guys have questions on, or which ones like stumped you? Instead of me just like rolling through all of these because that'd take forever. Which ones just like throw out one that you're just like, oh, I wasn't 100% sure on, and we'll just go over it. I know you guys already listed some, but I don't want to scroll back up in the chat. All right, 10's the first one. Calvin, got it. 10. All right. Husband constructing elaborate logical explanation for wife's recent paranoia. Okay. Okay. So, um, I want to try to think on how I want to say this. For some of these, you really can go multiple ways. But once again, let's focus on number 10 right now. What do you guys think? What do you guys think it is? Guys, I will come back. Oh, jeez. Okay, guys, I promise I'll come back to all these. I will come back to all these. But I do want to know what you guys think. What do you think number 10 is? And why? Why is that? Yeah, denial, rationalization. Yeah, those could work. Um, yeah, I'm trying to think of why one over the other. Both of those work. It's just this idea that I like denial more than rationalization, and here's why. Ria, I hear you on intellectualization. I can see intellectualization as well. Um, but my issue with intellectualization, Ria and Cassie and Christina, is the fact that it's not like he's not going to he's not doing it anything on his own. He's constructing. Like he's specifically just like pulling this together. He's not like going out and doing this research to kind of escape the problems. He's just like pulling all this in a almost in my head I'm like all this BS together in order to explain something away. So I don't really like intellectualization. Just all what you say, Mr. Monk. For rationalization, it's finding something positive out of the negative for the no, but he's just defining it. He's not finding something good. He's explaining why. Um, so I don't know. This one's hard. I honestly think it could be. I almost just talked myself out of it because he's trying to find an excuse as to why his wife instead of maybe accepting. Yeah, Corbin. Like that's what I was thinking. But I don't even like it. I probably need to throw this question out. It's just awkward. I would say denial. I would say it's denial. He's in denial. He's coming up with all these things because he can't just deal with the fact that his wife is like really struggling. Um, yeah. So I'd say it's deniable. So, yep. Okay. So, but all those other things like can be argued and looked at and rationalized, and I'm super okay with all of those things. So, just so long as you're thinking about it and trying to process what you think is right. Okay. So we had a bunch more. So let's go. Let's do 19. I'm literally just going down the rows. Let's just go 19, or from what people said. Mr. Martin carried around a letter in his coat pocket for weeks. The note, which he somehow neglected to mail, was an invitation to his mother in law to visit the family for several months. Okay? What do you guys think this is? Mm. What do you guys think number 19 is? I see a couple answers: denial, repression. I'm looking for some more. I want some more people to answer this before I talk about it. What do you guys think? Okay. Okay. Denial is a good answer. However, there's something very specifically happening here, and this and it's this idea is that the note which he somehow neglected to mail, and um and so okay, so let me jump over to what Hasnain said. Is repression always dealing with traumatic events? I think maybe yes and no, and the reason why I say yes and no is it is this idea that like, remember Hasnain, like, everything is relative. Everything is subjective. What might be traumatic for you might not be traumatic for somebody else. So Mr. Martin could think that, some of, like, I mean, it's a mother-in-law, so who maybe she made a scene at the wedding or something, but like, a traumatic event doesn't have to be, and I often use, like, children dying and people getting raped or whatever as examples for traumatic events, but traumatic events can be something smaller, like getting in a car wreck or being embarrassed in front of a social gathering. I mean, like, imagine, having your pants fall down in front of, like, a classroom of people. That would be traumatic. Like, that would be devastating. Like, it's silly as it is, it would still be devastating. So this is repression, because the note which he somehow neglected to mail, he's got the note. Like, he's not denying the fact that he doesn't like his family or something like that. He's just forgetting to mail it. And it's this idea that there's this, like, him sending that mail will be a part, will create some sort of interaction with them that he just, doesn't want to deal with or handle. um so I'm going to say, I'm going to say it's repression on this one, for the reason of him forgetting, like, what was in his pocket. So yeah, I know that was a really long one, but it's good. I'm glad you guys are wrestling with, like, does anyone have any questions, or, like, doesn't agree with me? If you don't agree with me or you have any questions on it, hit me. We'll get Siddharth. We will get to 26. We will get to 26. I want to get through this first. Corbin, yeah, kind of, because that's kind of the trigger, especially when you are specifically looking at questions on an AP exam. Remember, repression isn't actually a thing. That has been debunked. So, but yeah, if you're looking at a quiz and they're just like, I forgot this, or on the AP exam and they forgot something, it's very likely. It's very likely. Whoa, Aryan and Corbin. Are you saying you thought this was projection, or are you talking about number 26? Oh, 26. Okay. Well, I'm not on 26 yet. Hold on. To go back up to here. 10, 19, and number 4. Hold on, I'm writing these down. So 21, 22, 7. What else do you guys want to see? 15, 13. I think we've done. Did we do 14? No, 14, 19, 22, 12. 3 and 4, and then we'll come back to 26. Okay. 26 and 30. Okay. All right. I got all these. Okay. I have all the ones. So let's just start from the bottom. 3 and 4. Okay. Paul, an aggressive child, had problems in elementary school as he would frequently fight with other children. Paul found when he entered high school that he could channel. Hey, don't ask a question on this. It's got the word channel. This is sublimation. Simple. This was a giveaway. If I say channel, that's channel. You could channel his hostility into sports such as football. Paul was beat up as a kid, and he hated it, and he couldn't do anything about it. It's all this negative, unhappy energy. So what does he do? When he gets to high school, he goes and beats people up on purpose, in football. It's great outlet for him. Okay. Number 4, we have a drinking culture. Statistically speaking, um, statistically speaking, it would be unusual for people like me not to drink, or the only reason that more people don't do drugs is because they are legal. When pot is legalized, I won't have a problem. I would say this is denial. Um, it's denunciation of having some sort of problem. Um, like I don't like rationalization, but you're just like, no, I mean, like, yeah, this person definitely has a problem, but it's like, no, 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 no. Statistically speaking, like, look at the statistics. Everyone drinks. It's like totally normal. So I'd say number 4 is denial. Okay. As I kind of fly, yeah, Aryan, I could see rationalization. Like, look at all these other people; they're all drinking. It's not a big deal. You could say rationalization. I use denial because I think he's lying to himself. I think he's in my mind, and it doesn't. If you put rationalization, that's also fine, so long as it's like you understand, like you're looking at it from this sense. You're kind of giving him the benefit of the doubt. You're saying, well, yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, people do. It is like a drinking culture or whatever. For me, I'm just like, nah, you're full of it. Like, you are just finding some sort of excuse. So that's kind of the way I'm looking at it. So okay, I need to hurry up because I'm taking up too. I think I'm taking up too much time. Okay, so that's 4. All right, let's go 7. The habitual drinker may insist that he really doesn't care much for the taste of alcohol, but feels that he is obliged to drink so that he can be sociable. Um, I would say this is rationalization, finding some sort of excuse to, make himself, you know, get what he wants. So I'd say that's number 7 is rationalization. Okay, it might be. It might be. Okay, let's go to 13. Even a top baseball player will sometimes strike out on an easy pitch. When this happens, his next action may be to throw his bat or kick the water cooler with all his might. What is this? Easy peasy, guys. Easy peasy. He's not really mad at anything. He is mad at, the fact that he missed a pitch. Yeah, Josh, you could say that. Once again, it's just kind of depending on the direction that you're looking. Thank you, Aryan. We all know if you know how to pronounce that, we'll feel better. Uh, yeah, displacement, guys, easy peasy. He's obviously has an issue with himself. He's mad at himself because he sucks at baseball, and then he beats up a poor water cooler. Okay, number 14. A student forgot that his dreaded final exam in geometry was scheduled for Friday. This seemed unusual as the date of the exam had been marked on his calendar for 7 weeks. Um, Guys, this is just another example of repression. I mean, this is just like, oops, like, I forgot this thing. I didn't, I was dreading it. Like, think about like an exam that you are, no, not denial. Once again, look, forgot it. Forgot the date. Yes, repression. Think about like your most heinous exam that you're just super not ready for. This person wasn't ready for it, and so you forgot all about it. Oh no! So I'd say this is repression. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Good, good, good. Number 15. It's possible that smokers have graduated from earlier stages of thumb sucking and pencil chewing, neither of which would be acceptable behavior in adult society. Smoking is considered by some as a socially acceptable outlet for oral need. Okay, what do you guys think about this one? I want to know what you think this one is. I will take two. There are two possible answers for this bad boy. Yes to Saul. Denial is not about forgetting. Rationalization. No, 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 no. I don't think it's rationalization. It's regression, and it could be something else. There's one more thing. This one's a little. Yep, I would say it's regression. Not denial. I'd say it is. No, I don't see displacement. It could also be sublimation, channeling that that energy into something else. I don't know. I got that one online and they said sublimation, but I think it's more regression than anything. So, yeah, thinking about it, that's regression. Any hoozles. Yep, regression. Regression is what I think. Okay. Let's go to 21. 20. Wait, right? That was 15. Yeah, 21. One psychological theory holds that the desire for sexual gratification, if frustrated or blocked, may eventually find expression in painting or writing of poetry. Josh, I like to think of it as something positive, but I don't know if it technically has to be something better. Yeah, I don't think so. Like I said, I don't like the question as sublimation. I think it's more regression than anything. Yeah, number 21 is sublimation. Definitely sublimation. Taking that energy and channeling it into finding their expression in painting or writing. And you hear this all the time with like artists or people who write, you know, like they had like really crappy childhoods and then they take that, you know, all of that anger and hatred and they put it into some like beautiful art or like really stirring poetry or writing or something like that. So 21 is definitely sublimation. 22, James Riley has suffered heavy financial losses recently while playing the stock market. Upon trading his big luxury car for an old small car, Jim informed his associate that he bought the cheaper car to do his part to battle against air pollution. This is either like rational. I think it's mostly rationalization, but it also could be denial. And once again, it's just the man. You know, the more I do these, the more I'm just like, it could kind of be either, because it also could be denial. Like he could no, that's rationalization. Yeah, Cassie. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. The denial being similar to making excuses. Yeah, I would keep it as rationalization. I think is just the better answer. So, but there could be an argument for the other one. All right, 26. A number of psychologists believe that social crusaders who advocate various forms of social control may in reality be struggling. Yes, Moaz, I can go through number 19. Don't worry, Dassault. I've looked, Dassault, don't worry. I've looked over the quiz questions are not like that. And I'm sorry, Mozam, don't worry. They're a lot of the quiz questions, like you might be like, oh, this is like they're a little bit more they're less debatable. They're better written than these ones. So don't worry. There should be a definitive answer. Okay. 20. Do we just do 22? We did. Okay. 26. A number of psychologists believe that social crusaders who advocate various forms of social control may in reality be struggling with their own unconscious desires. This is reaction formation, guys. Yes, I can go over 18 and 19. This is reaction formation. It is no, it's not projection because they're doing like it's themselves. So they're not projecting their like they believe that actually hold on. Yeah, no. Yeah. I could see projection. That's fine. Yeah, projection's fine. Reaction formation. Well, the opposite is this idea that they're like. The opposite is that they're like. Trying to think how I want to explain this. Projection is better. Yeah, no, you're right. Projection is better because they're taking their own issue and they're putting it out on somebody else. I like that better than reaction formation. No, because they have that problem, and so they're believing that other people have it. No, because they're not specifically saying like, oh, you have this problem. They're just trying to. What does it say? A number of psychologists believe that social crusaders who advocate various forms of. Yeah, okay, so it's not projection because they're not specifically saying someone else has this problem. So it is reaction formation because they are doing the opposite. They're like they have this issue, like they have all these sexual desires, and so doing the opposite is like trying to stop people from doing that because they still can't figure it out. So yeah, you're right, Dasal. It's see this is what we gotta work through it together. Yeah, and I got really excited because then I read it wrong because I was just like, oh yeah, he's right. No, you're Dasal, you're super wrong. Don't ever question me again. Yeah, reaction formation for 26 guys. Okay. Let's hop back to 18 and 19 before we get to 30. 18 and 19. The majority group of a culture may blame all the various ills of society on a small minority group. There's a process called scapegoating. Oh, beautiful. Scapegoating, guys. And is a factor in racial and religious prejudice. Okay, what do we got? This is textbook displacement. Textbook displacement. I've got a problem that I can't deal with, so I'm going to blame you. I'm going to put this on you. You'll see this. I mean, in not like Nazi Germany is a great issue. I don't think it's projection because you're very specifically like discriminating against an other group of people. Like you're doing something about it. So, yeah. Yes, Tatum, there's going to be stuff on all the experiments. You need to know about all the experiments. Mm-hmm. Okay. Number 19. Mr. Martin carried around a letter in his coat pocket for weeks. Oh, we did this already. This is repression because he's forgetting about the thing. Okay. 30. Last one. 30. Billy always teases and annoys his younger brother after he himself is disciplined by parents. Okay, Billy is frustrated with his mom and dad because I still need help on 23. Oh, yeah, I'll do 23. Sorry about that. Just all. Number 30. He's getting, bullied by his parents, but he can't do anything about it because of his parents. So he goes and beats up his younger brother. This is displacement. And 23. What experiments? The experiment, like the oh no. See, I was thinking of social learning. The social psychology. No, we don't have any experiments. No, there are no experiments. Sorry. Yes, that is social psychology. It's very difficult to do both these things at one time. Sorry, I didn't mean to give you guys a scare. No. No experiments. There's no specific experiments. Okay, 23. The girl who was not invited to the school dance told her friends that she would not have attended if she was asked. She said that her teachers had assigned her more homework than usual, and it's simply too busy for any unimportant social functions. This is rationalization. She's coming up, rationalization. She's coming up with a reason. Oh, well, I didn't get asked out. Nah, I didn't want to go. I need to do homework. It's not that big of a deal. I don't want to. So, yep, rationalization. And 29, Mrs. James can't understand why her husband has been so grumpy and irritable for the past week. It certainly isn't her fault that he didn't receive the anticipated. That's also displacement. 29 is displacement. She's, her husband's grumpy because he didn't get something that happened at work that he couldn't control, and so he gets mad at his wife. Okay, 25. When a new baby arrives in the family, the older child will sometimes cry more than usual. Usually more than usual. My bad. And be more insistent about receiving caresses and receiving caresses from the parents. This is regression. It sees that it's getting a lot of attention, and so regression. Oftentimes, yes, Hassan. Oftentimes. Yeah, yes, but it's also finding excuses for it. Yeah, both work. Yes, to Saul. Either way. I see. Okay. I see what I see that issue. Sorry about that, Dasal. I didn't mean to trip you up on that. Okay. So we've gone through. Denial is like denying that it even exists, and rationalization is like coming up with ideas and like. I mean, it is finding this, you know, the silver lining, or finding out, or coming up with an excuse. Denial is, you know, denying that there's a problem. You are, Moaz, you're not going to write about everything, but it's all fair game. Yeah, everything. Yeah, the FRQ is covering everything. Like, you need to know, like, the idea behind this is that you better know everything that we talked about. So, but this was a pretty simple, like, in my opinion, this is a pretty simple unit or chapter. I don't feel like there's a lot of like things to trip you up. Yes, we can go over the readings. Yeah, and Moaz, at the same time, like, I've got to ramp up the you know, some difficulty level here. I need to stretch you guys. Yeah, we can do the readings. We can do the readings. Okay. I don't know. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna pop up. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pop up the. Teddy wanted to say hello. Say hello, Teddy. Not to me. Not to me. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pop up the reading, and then I'll let you guys ask me questions. I'm not gonna like read. I'm not gonna like read them with you or whatever. So that's how we're gonna do this thing. So let me pull this up. We're just gonna start with the behaviorist theories of personality, and then I'm just gonna, you know, like, what questions do you guys have? Teddy says hello. Oh, between the level person, Josh, levels of personality are your conscious, subconscious, or not subconscious, preconscious, and unconscious. And then the psyches are your id, ego, and superego. That's your levels, the levels. And it'll be like, you'll see, like, I'm going to ask you, like, how does the unconscious, like, predict, you know, do this or whatever. So you'll see. No, I am not going to give you the main points from the readings. That's what you guys need to be able to do. Well, let me see. I gotta kind of mess with this as I get this so I can see. Oh, criminy. Okay. Yes, to Saul. If your writings are half the length of the if your notes are half the length of the notes, then it's too long. Okay. I don't know. Okay, so let me just like, how do I want to do this? Okay, the behaviorist theories. Think about exactly who the what a behaviorist is. A behaviorist is just like, look, we're talking about B.F. Skinner, we're talking about classical and operant conditioning. Behavioralists believe that our personalities are not like the stuff that is like batting around in our brain. It's the stuff that we do, like the things that we learn, that make our personality. B.F. Skinner proposed that our differences, so our personality, the differences between us in our learning experiences, are the main reason behind our individual difference. So the reason why B.F. Skinner believes that Mr. Monk and Peyton are different people is because we've learned, our experiences have been different, and the things that we learned from those experiences are why we are two different people. That's like that. Like he doesn't care about like what's what's going on in your head and what you're thinking about. No, he cares about the experiences that you've dealt with and how you've learned from them. Think back to Edward, to Thorndike, and to operant conditioning. It's all about learning from consequences. You do X, and what happens afterwards? What are the consequences of that action? You punched your teacher in the face. Well, that was not smart. You got in trouble, got expelled, did this, did that. Like, what is happening? Okay. Does that make sense? I think that makes sense. Like that, or excuse me, that makes sense to me. I hope that makes sense to you. If you don't, like, let me know. Okay, for Rotter. Okay, Peyton, you have a question. For Rotter, I'm confused when it says personality and behaviorism are not connected by our instincts and drives. Okay, let me get to where you are where he talks about that. Okay, so Peyton, I think mostly what Rotter was talking about is like instincts are ingrained into us. Like these are things that we all have at birth. Like is it the mammalian? There's some sort of reflex where like that's not the mammalian. I don't know what it's called, but there's like a reflex of a baby that if you brush its cheek, it'll like turn over and suck. Like you don't have to teach it that thing. So what I believe Rotter was like, yes, Peyton. He's similar to B.F. Skinner, but I want to. The main viewpoint in the social learning theory of Rotter is that personality is a representation of the contact between the person and the environment. So he's really is he's piggybacking on Skinner, but he's not talking just about like learning. He's talking about the environment, like everything that happens around him, and saying that like those things are what is most affecting the behavior. And it's highlighted by, I believe, that personality is a set of potentials that man uses to respond to certain circumstances, to respond in those circumstances. And so think about what that means. Peyton and the rest of you, you learned how to think about like kindergarten, first, second grade. How much actual learning about school and textbooks is there? There's not a lot. Most of it is learning how to cope within a school, how to sit in line, how to listen to a teacher, how to write, how to do this. Like all of those things are ways in which we teach you, okay, this is how you're supposed to be. So for the next 10 years, when you're in school, you know how you're supposed to act. And think about like freshmen. Freshmen are still kind of learning how they're supposed to act within high school. Shut up, pay attention, do this, do that. And so that's what all he's talking about. You're taking all of these things that you have learned and you're putting them into these and you're using them to respond in certain situations. I feel like they're very, very similar. So I hope I answered your question. We're to believe that our behavior personality was shaped by the positive and negative reinforcements instead. Yeah. Yep. Okay. I know that was a really long explanation. Okay. That's 1 of 4 down. Okay. Let's go to something else. Let's go to the next one. If you have a question on that, you can talk to me tomorrow morning. Otherwise, I have to get to the other ones. Okay. Humanistic perspective. So using things that we have learned to shape our personality. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Basically. Okay. Okay. Humanistic perspective. Okay. So don't worry as much about George Kelly. I hear way less about him than I do. He probably won't pop up. Maslow and Rogers are what is important. Okay. blah 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 blah. So in his theory, Rogers stated that organism has one basic goal: self-actualization. Remember, guys, humanistic psychologists are all about like trying to be the best person that you can be. Oh, hold on, let me. What is the FRQ about again? I forgot to write it down. That sounds like a personal problem to me, Rishi. Someone help him out. Throw something up on the board for him, please. It's let me explain this. Okay, Rogers. So when and this sentence right here is pretty important. According to him, we exist because we need to gratify this need, and this need is this idea of like growing and becoming better. And it's funny how, like it says here, he expressed his extremely optimistic approach. And it is like humanistic approach is all about being like, listen, we all strive to attain like the best levels, the highest levels, and like to be the best person that we can be. And it's just super optimistic. And so Roger's personality is like you trying to become a better person. Like that's what your personality is this struggle to become the best person. And when certain behaviors are reinforced by conditions and individuals, the personality type that corresponds to the generality of this behavior. So if you are beaten and broken consistently, you're going to have a beaten and broken personality. If you are around people that are happy and cheerful and are encouraging to you, you're very likely going to turn out that way. Okay, Maslow. Um, just make sure that you know the hierarchy of needs. Just as what Rogers theorized, Maslow believed that the ultimate goal in life was self-actualization. These are some of the things that a self-actualization person are. Neat. And then just make sure that if you talk about Maslow, just talk about his pyramid, and you're perfectly fine. Like it's just this, trying to reach certain goals, but you have to take care of the goals beneath. Sorry. So nothing new here. Humanistic approach to personality is like #so basic. Okay, moving on. Indeed, Corbin. Indeed. Okay. So let's go on to the next one. I hope this is not like ridiculous for you guys. Okay, so we don't have to worry about trait theories. We'll talk about neo-Freudians in a second. Let me get through social cognitive. Okay. Bandura and Michelle. Okay. How do I want to? I'm trying to think on how I want to. Where is it? This kind of goes off on a tangent. Where am I looking for? Oh, here we go. Okay. Okay, hold on. What do we got? No, we didn't have to do the trait theories. Peyton, it's good to know. We were supposed to do the trait theories, but we ran out of time. Or my other classes ran out of time. So, or actually, your class, yeah, your class ran out of time. Otherwise, we would have done it. So, okay. So, Bandura agreed that environment causes our behavior. Okay, but behavior can also cause the environment. So, just kind of flipping the switch, the way in which you interact in the world, the things that you do change your environment, change this way. So it said the chief concept in this theory is called reciprocal determinism. Bandura's approach to personality can be gleaned by the situation. Suppose an adolescent shows his aggressive personality trait because he is maltreated by his peers. So his peers treat him badly. So in reaction, he acts that way. He acts like vicious or whatever. When this person expresses his aggression by way of violent acts, he can trigger either a higher level aggression or fear inside his superior mind, therefore changing his environment. So it's almost like this cyclical thing where someone mistreats you, and then you do exactly what they do because you're upset or angry or whatever, and that just increases the way that they feel about you. And it's kind of like, oh, I told you so. It's that hindsight bias. I told you that guy was crazy. He just threw a pencil at me or something. Yeah, he's insane. And so it just like changes the environment. So just know that like the things that you do, like the things that you do in this world, your behaviors, your actions also affect the environment. The environment affects you, but you also in return affect the environment. So I think is just like, well, duh, but someone had to say it, I guess. Um, so make sure when we were talking about Michelle, that I think that's how you say it. I think it's Michelle. Is that you look at these two specific things, the specific attributes of a given situation and the manner in which he or she in the manner in which they perceive the situation. So Michelle is all about how do you perceive what's going on? And think about, you have two teachers, right? You say something in class that's like, I don't know, like you kind of like make fun of the teacher a little bit, like you kind of give him a jibe. You have one teacher that like freaks out and like, oh, don't disrespect me, like how could you do this? And then you have the other teacher that like laughs about it. And so the way in which we perceive the situation, the way in which we understand the person, uh, really like affects who we are and what we think is like, and how we react, and like what it is about our personality. Um, so yeah. So just make sure that you know these two things. It's this, and this is the important part. The manner in which a person perceives the situation, what is going on. And I don't know. I am the type of laugh it off teacher because I have better things to do than get angry at uh, people for making fun of me. I do it all the time. Okay. Okay. So be familiar with this. If you can talk about the 5-person variables in your FRQ, that's great, but I probably won't be looking for it. So, okay. Last one. Let's talk about the Neo-Freudians. Neo-Freudians. Okay. Simply put, guys, the Neo-Freudians were the students of Sigmund Freud. And they were in one way or another, they broke away from Sigmund Freud. They're like, okay, some of this stuff is neat, but like a lot of this stuff is kind of crazy. So make sure that you know their major disagreements. There's 4 big things, and then know the major thinkers. Know who Carl Jung is. Know the basics of his theory. Know Alfred Adler, the basics of his theory. Erik Erikson, hey, we talked about this person before. Psychosocial traits, okay? And then Karen Horney, make sure you know her major stuff. So know these. So the Neo-Freudians is kind of your big one. You need to know about all these people. So they're pretty. It's pretty cut and dry. So I don't feel like I need to go over it. Do you guys have any questions about it? Does anyone have questions on what's it called? Carl Jung's universal, the collective unconscious is so cool. This guy's crazy. Right here, Corb. Main disagreements. For example, Erikson, blah, 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 blah. Other issues, motivated thinker. Like Freud's emphasis on sexual urges as a primary motivator. Look at Sigmund Freud. Like, this is it right here, guys. This is like, Sigmund Freud believed that we developed and grew because we were driven by sex. That's crazy. Overall, he just thought humans like were absolute garbage, which, I mean, it's not too far from the truth. And remember, we were talking about like you as a person, everything, like every problem that you had was basically like going back to your childhood. Like like who you were as a person was almost entirely dictated by your childhood. Like right now, you guys for the rest of your life, uh, based on Sigmund Freud, like there's not a lot of growth or like weird development. Everything can be tracked back. So when you're 85, Sigmund Freud's just like, wait, you have what problem? Oh well, it stemmed back from when you were 2. So um, so yeah, okay, uh, yeah. What was a psychosocial thing you said? What's the difference between universal and personal unconscious? Universal. Okay, let me start with Emily's because I'm not really sure what you're asking. Psychosocial. What was the psychosocial? Okay, okay. Adler thought more of the personal conscience. Uh, sorry, I'm trying to. Okay, let me go back. Sarah, let's start with your question. Your question is Adler. I was trying to answer 3 questions at one time. Alfred Adler thought more of the personal conscience. Yes. I want to make sure, like, some of his big stuff was the inferiority complex. That's kind of one of his um, big things. Yes. So it is about the personal, conscious, individual psychology. But he's like this inferiority complex is kind of his like big thing. He believed instead of like sex being the primary motivator, he believed that our belief that we were inferior was that drive. Like we suck, and so that feeling of inferiority, like I see this person doing really well, like I want to be better. Like a great example of this is like for me, like Coach Diaz is like a super awesome soccer coach. I think he's better than I am, and he's the varsity coach, I'm the JV coach. Well, that's a drive for me. That idea that I am inferior to him in this way drives me to be a better person. So yes. So yes. Okay. But make sure, Sarah, you know that inferiority complex, that's the big thing. It's not sex that's driving us. It's the fact that we suck and other people are better than us. The psychosocial thing. You said something about psychosocial and Eric Erickson. Yeah, psychosocial, okay, do they talk about it? Remember that while Freud believed that personality was mostly set in stone in early childhood, Erickson felt that development continued through life. Obviously, he also believed that not all conflicts were unconscious. Do they talk about? Okay, here we go. Erickson de-emphasized the role of sex as a motivator for behavior, instead playing a much larger role on social relationships. So Sigmund Freud. So that's his eight stage theory of psychosocial development. So Erickson was all about like, no, it's not sex that's making us, that's driving us. It's these social relationships that we have with other people. That is why we are the way that we are. That's what he was talking about. Okay. So that's Eric Erickson. Okay, let's go to Carl Jung. Okay, let me just explain universal unconscious. Personal unconscious is what we've already talked about, Emily. It's like your deep dark desires, blah 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 blah. Carl Jung like expanded on this. Where does he have this? No, they do talk about this, right? Okay, yeah, yeah. Jung placed a great emphasis on the unconscious, but his theory placed a higher emphasis on his concept of the collective unconscious. Oh no, it doesn't say enough. Oh, I'm so sorry. Okay, this should say more. Basically, Carl Jung believed that not only do we have our own unconscious, but we also have, like I said, a collective unconscious. So, like Emily, like Jung believed that you and I were our unconscious minds were secretly connected. And that's why there are certain trends in society that are similar. It doesn't matter where you go. So think about facial expressions that we learned before. And I totally am blanking on that guy's name. But the 7 facial expressions that are all similar. Everyone, like when you're happy, you have this face. When you're sad, when you're surprised or when you despise someone, like we all have the same face. Like the idea that there is some sort of creator has been prevalent in so many societies that Jung was just like, wait a minute, like how is it that humankind so often has all these very similar traits? Why do we all want? Thank you, Josh. Paul Ekman, that was the name I was looking for. Josh, you the man. Why does society have all of these very similar threads? Like it doesn't make any sense. Oh, well, maybe we're all unconsciously connected. Maybe we all have this like we already don't know a lot about what's going on in our unconscious mind. Maybe that's a connection to other people in the world. So that's Jung. Yep. And then when we get down to Karen Horney, it's a lot of it's like the she really kind of jumped on the like, hey, you're super sexist. Well, that's not cool. And then she talked about other stuff. Okay. Woo! Got through it all. All right. Cool. Glad, Emily. I'm glad you got it. Okay. Do you guys have any more questions? I've run. I ran late with my explanations, but if you guys have questions, I will take them before I jet. Mr. Monk, are you going to keep doing soccer in 12th grade? I don't know what you mean. Or like 2 years later? What? Practice. Well, Dasal and Aryan, I have no idea what you guys are talking about. Sarah, what did Erickson believe? He believed that we were Sarah, Erickson believed that we derived motivation from society, from relationships, like from relationships with one another and relationships with our families and stuff like that. That is what drove us and motivated us. Sigmund Freud believed that it was all about sex. The reason why we do stuff is sex. That's why we develop. That's why we change. All that. So Freud believed it was sex. Erickson believed that it was like society and relationships and stuff like that. So that's the main difference. Aryan, I don't have time for practice questions, and we did a bunch of practice questions with the defense mechanisms. So, Dasal, if you have not been playing soccer, we have some really good players. So, if you play soccer consistently and are on a club team or whatever, sure. But we have a lot of good players. So, I don't know. I mean, you could always try out. Who knows? You can make a team. For the FRQ, do we just pick one of the readings to write about? Miriam, you will have basically, it's not going to be one of those like you pick one. I will pick one for you, and you'll like summarize about it, or you'll do some kind of connection towards it. So you will see on tomorrow's FRQ. You just need to know them. If I'm going to be a coach. Dasal, I have no plans on going anywhere for some time. So I'm sure I will be a coach. It's okay, Aryan. I will forgive you for your practice questions, all caps, but we aren't doing any practice questions. Erickson believed that personality was based on a social relationship, then yeah, on the childhood events. Yep. Dasal, you're always feel free to try out, but no, Calvin, I wasn't crushing any dreams. Last time, no experiments like Stanford. Yeah, no Stanford prison experiments. Hannah, but you're like don't get like confused by new words. All I'm talking about is your unconscious mind. It's everything that we've already explained. It's the primal desires. It's the something that is unseen, and it is primal desires, something that's unseen, and it's your true self. Like that's just personal to you. We just put an extra word in front of it. Don't freak out. Just like my chance in MP crushed 0-0. Dasal, I have no idea what you're talking about. What are the types of tests? Oh, types of tests. Okay. Oh, thank you. Yes, Aryan. You have projective tests, which are the TAT and the Rorschach, and then you have psychometric, which is the MMPI. So just know some of the basics about each of those. It's easy. Yep, TAT and Rorschach. Yep. Yep. Thanks, Corb. Okay. Do you guys have anything else? HTB is the house tree person. That was just the silly test that we took. It's mostly done on children, so it won't be on the test. So, but it's another version of projective test because it's not HTP is not like a major test. There's not like a bunch of people who are doing it. It's it just isn't. So, all right, okay. Well, I think everyone's good. So I'm gonna get out of here. Thank you guys for hopping on the stream. We will see you tomorrow. Make sure you get plenty of sleep tonight. Don't stay up too late. It's 9 o'clock now, so 10 o'clock bedtime. Okay, I'm leaving now that Rishi is asking ridiculous questions about other things. All right, bye guys. Y'all have a great day.